Also, this formula that's very similar to Jim and Pam on The Office. Pam was unavailable in the first couple seasons because she was engaged, and Amy is married, but clearly they're setting up some romantic tension between them.
Right. I don't know.
And they also, we see Dina and her interest in Jonah, which I do not care for, really.
But you are heterosexual, right?
Are you allowed to ask that?
No.
I guess I can talk more about that later on in later episodes, because I do have stuff to say about it, but I can't really do it spoiler free.
Right. I don't know. I do like Garrett. Like in this first episode, I saw him as the chaotic neutral.
Garrett is consistently probably my favorite character on the show.
Yeah, he's the gentleman in the wheelchair who does the overhead announcements. And he's really funny. He has really good timing. His body language is good, and he's always on. Even as a background character.
Do you recognize the actor from Parks and Rec?
Was he one of the maintenance guys or something?
He was one of the animal control stoners.
Yes. Okay. I have not. I could see him doing that, but I don't know. I really do love his character because he's so just very honest about how he's feeling and how he's my job is literally if you want to look like you're busy, carry this box. You don't have to be doing anything. It's literally just look busy.
Only a couple things to remember. Always show up on time, don't steal, and stay on the floor supervisor's good side.
Because there's not a lot of supervision.
He spends most of his time making random announcements.
Yeah. I also, with this first episode, I noticed that Glenn, the manager with a very nasally voice.
In your faces! Your faces!
I feel like he looks really old.
He does. I think we both made that note in the very first scene.
Yeah.
His hair is gray. I don't know if they dyed it for this episode, if they're dyeing it later on.
I don't know what they're doing, but
I'm going to try to pay attention to when he starts to look the way I'm used to him.
Right, because he has in later episodes, his hair is just a little more sandy blonde kind of color. And I did like that they did introduce his relationship with God.
Now, I used to end these meetings with some wisdom from the good book, but then someone reported me to corporate.
Heck yeah, I did. Look, I'm a Christian too, but in these four walls, my Bible is the employee code of conduct.
I didn't remember that Dina says she's a Christian.
Yeah. But the employee handbook is her Bible and she's at work.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever comes up again that she's religious.
No, and I just think they wanted to have a churchy pray off at work. This idea of having religion in the workplace in a place like Missouri is next to impossible.
Right.
So I thought that was a very conscious thing to include two religious people kind of being in that very classic Christian I pray better than you because I'm a better Christian bullshit. I really like that he played Jurassic Park to initiate the new employees, and Mateo does get totally benched, unseen,
Well, yeah, I mean, Mateo's plot line in this episode is just look how much better I am than Jonah. It's just him being competitive.
Excuse me. Hi. I hung up everything that was in the dressing rooms, and I organized it by style, color, size, and relevance of designer.
Wow. Good job.
Why does he have to work twice as hard to get half the recognition that Jonah does? I think that's something that's very poignant, and it's super important to notice that the brown kid is working really hard and he wants to beat this white kid, and he's you're my competition, bitch, and I'm going to work better than you. But then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because this white boy, this fool, he's totally a fucking fool. Just like mediocrely, like gets through the day and like doesn't do anything, and he gets paid the same, probably more. Oh, it's so frustrating. Like literally, like he didn't put any carts away. He damaged the customer's car. What was another thing that he did? He fucking sold like 25-cent appliances, like televisions and laptops were going off the shelves.
A lot happened in this episode.
And that was all because of Jonah. Like, he fucked a lot of shit up.
Talking about the cans or the pricing thing?
You see, the fact that it's your first day and there's already more than one option of things you've screwed up is not a good thing.
What would have happened if Mateo did that? This show would not have gotten greenlit. I can tell you that much. Nobody wants to see a sassy Filipino kid fucking everything up and getting getting patted on the back about it. That's not what executives greenlight. So they followed a formula. They're very clever. I do really like this show, and it's interesting to see it kind of from the beginning again.
What do you think about Bo's proposal?
Everybody get down on the ground! Now!
I think it's like kind of typical aggressive white male bullshit. Like the fear that he put into that situation to make it about him getting up on a stage. Like that was like typical bullshit. Like, yeah, then it was aggressive as fuck. Like, and they filmed it in a way that was very scary and very real almost in terms of everyone's reaction of getting down on the ground. The image of Cheyenne holding her stomach or pushing against like the back of her register was very like, real. And it was like you could see Dina is a woman of action because she immediately starts to army crawl away and like saying under her breath, this is what I've trained for. So it's very nice to see a woman in that role that you are used to seeing like Ron Swanson or Dwight in. It's still a white woman, but at least, you know, she's taking action, and we're not waiting for a man. It's still like this whole white savior thing, but you know, you take what you can get. But yeah, I mean, his proposal, that part was really off-putting. But then when it turns into like this YouTube video of like a flash mob, I'm like, okay, this kid put effort into it. I don't even think he can tie his own shoes. But he can dance. So I can see like this simple attraction that they have.
I do love that he like gets so into it that he forgets he's proposing and like starts to walk off like mic drop style.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's kind of showing kind of some sort of like intensity and honesty about this character, which he does have. He has that intensity that is initially very off-putting. That mustache, the outfit, he's very much like this white boy that's trying to appropriate culture. But then you're like, maybe he lives in that neighborhood. Like, he seems like he's written as this very like person who would come from a place that is Missouri, which is very diverse, and, you know, poor people mix with poor people because that's the only place to live. So I could see him potentially being one of those cool white boys that hangs out with like other black youth in that area.
Well, he does seem to be living his life that way. Like, he doesn't run into another group of people and like become a different person, you know?
Yeah, he doesn't code switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely always this, like, very real, very kind of casual, but intense, again, person.
So he's either, like, really committed to the appropriation or he is a part of that
Culture. Or that kind of thinking and mindset. Yeah. I don't know. I like his character.
That scene is also, like, the show kind of goes too far for me because, I mean, if he really did that proposal, like, he would never be allowed back in that store again.
But it's all fake. Like, people wouldn't really leave their toddlers in the baby bin, you know, and like the displays at the store. Like, I don't know. It's just it's a show. It's like a cartoon.
I know, but there's a level of suspension of disbelief that, like, that scene is just, it's a little too far for me.
Yeah.
And right off the bat.
But I think that's good to, like, for the show to take you to that level where it is just like, this is unbelievable.
And then when Dina cuts the lights, that's like the most melodramatic scene in the whole show, like up till what we've seen so far.
Yeah, that part. And see, again,
like that low camera angle and like Amy just like
looking
staring up at the ceiling,
and
with
that
the stars.
Green glow of those cheesy stars that represent every year being
Which
the
would
same
not
for
put
her.
off that much light.
No, but again, unbelievable. I didn't like that. Again, Jonah, it was not working. He was not working. He got on some lift that he probably wasn't licensed to do, or he wasn't like skilled, or that pisses me off. That he was like, I'm going to put stickers on the ceiling to impress this girl, instead of like learning how to like correct the mistake that you did before. Like, maybe you should learn something.
I find it hard to believe that he accomplished that anyway. Like,
but he didn't
that
learn.
would have taken all day to get all those up there.
Right? And
people would have noticed you up on the lift. Like,
I don't know. It just felt like again, like that really kind of cliche idea of a man chasing a woman and doing stupid shit to get her attention when she didn't really ask for it. Like, she didn't ever ask you to do that. Like, obviously she appreciated it because that's what the writers decided was appropriate for the situation. But I think it's like, I think it's too easy. It's an easy out, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, that's something that I'm like, blech. Like, it's just very cliche. I would rather, it's that Amy and Jonah dynamic that makes the show digestible for like regular audiences, I guess. Or at least that's what execs think.
I'd care more about it at this point if I just like Jonah didn't leave such a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I would have, I think Garrett would have been like, after watching the show, like, Garrett was the best, most interesting character. Like, the last line that I think he got one of the last lines, which was,
You should come with us, man. We're gonna throw some mannequin limbs in the dumpster and watch Garbage Man freak out.
I want to know more about that guy that like decide, like, how did he figure out that that's what happens when you do that? Like, what's the backstory there? Like, and how often do you do this? And is it a new dumpster guy every day? Like, is he like
yeah, so like of all the characters, I think we've pretty much talked about all the main characters. Like, Garrett's probably the one I want to hang out with.
Right. Or at least learn more about. Because Amy is just like kind of this tragic, sad sack kind of type of character, which is what Jonah highlighted in the very beginning when he was introducing himself as this like person who wishes they weren't working there, and this was his first day working there. I don't know. It's just like lame. Like, I deserve better than that from these beautiful characters. Like, these actors have talent. Give them more.